Um, this is Don Davis, and I'm going to make a quick screen recording demonstrating how to use Harzing's Publisher Perish. So real quick, you can get the program by just doing a quick Google search, and it pops up first. This is a free program, so if you go download, install, Windows, and then I think you click right here and it'll download for you. So it shows up better. I'm running this from my PC at work, from my Mac at home, so this screen is a little bit bigger if you've got a normal screen. But this syncs with Google Scholar, which is a very comprehensive search engine. It does a lot better than PsycInfo in terms of finding everything that's out there. And so if we type something like perfectionism, and really I've got everything here, then it's going to do a pretty broad search. It caps it at 1,000 articles, so if you're doing a serious meta-analysis, you may end up doing multiple searches by year to really make sure you've got everything that's out there. So it might, instead you could do everything 2012, get 1,000 articles there, everything in 2011, 2010, and so forth. But for just kind of skimming and seeing what's out there, it's going to pull the most cited articles, which this should be fine. So you can sort it by citations per year. It's got author, title, publication, and if we went out here, it also has a link to the article. But what I like to do is sort by citation first and then by year, and that gives you a quick sense of what's been most cited recently. So there's a paid article that's picked up for. It's usually less helpful for the most current year because there's not quite enough time for everything to get out there. But if we look here, 2011, most cited article was this clinical psych review. You can double click on this and it takes you directly to it. If we click on this, a lot of times they'll have a PDF attached on Google. That's not the case with this one. I'll try to find one where that works out. So the next most cited is this article. That one's not attached either. Sometimes the more current articles don't have an attached article, and then in that case you just look it up in PsycInfo. Yeah. So it's kind of by order of citation, and we can do the same kind of thing. Start looking at 2010, most cited articles. Looks like there's another paid article. That one's not in there either. You guys aren't posting your stuff. Let's see if Ken's got a link to his somewhere. Nothing. Alright. So that's an example. Let's look at something like humility. So there's a lot in here from non-psychology journals. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just force it to have psychology somewhere in the article, and that can kind of limit it. The other thing you could do is you could force it to find that word actually in the title. Anyway, you can play around with it. So in this case, let's get to last year's stuff. So lessons in contingent recursive humility. Doesn't seem related. This is my article. It's got a couple of citations. So this is we published a scale of humility in Journal Personality Assessment. So take a topic that's more broad, spirituality. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of articles, but if we limit that just to title words and say I want to get a sense of what the major reviews are maybe in the last couple of years, I could do this. Limits me to 1,000. So I usually will look over here at the publication and kind of look for more psychology type journals. So looks like there's a pretty well cited study looking at AA. Let me see if I can get you an example. Oh yeah, here's one. So like NIH studies, they always have them linked to PDFs. So for certain articles, especially if they're really well cited, a lot of times you can find a direct link to the PDF, which can save you a lot of time. Here's one we did on, it's a meta-analysis of adapting treatments to spirituality. We don't have it attached. Looks like they translated it. So these are all, well, let's take it back. The first list it gives you is actually articles that have cited that, which is, that can actually be useful as well. You can see work that may be related pretty quickly. And then I guess the last thing I'll show you is how quick and easy it is to take this and save it in Excel. So you go save as CSV file and spirituality 2005 through 2012 is what my search was, and I saved that. And let me show you what that looks like. So it just plops it in a little Excel file, and these are direct links to the article. So when you're searching for the article, you can just click directly on this link, and it gives you what we had before, as well as it usually has a direct link to the official article, which I think sometimes if you're on campus, they can actually pull the article from here. Doesn't look like it worked for me here, but anyway, get the sense. But what I'll usually do is I'll create a little table here. Blah, 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 blah. It's kind of going slower because I don't have my regular computer. Okay, slow down a little bit. Okay, so this is the whole table. I'll format that as a table, and then I usually will add like a column that I can take notes in. And so if I sort by citation first and then by year, then I can go through and, with a larger screen, look at the titles and kind of mark for myself the ones I might want to look at. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I want to look at that one. Look at that one. I want to look at that one. And pretty quickly go through and pull, 15 or 20 articles in a larger literature, sort by that column that I created right there, and then look up these links pretty quickly. Or if I've got a student that's working with me, I can just give them a list of articles to pull from that pretty quick search. So anyway, the main reason that I've used this has been, one, to get a more exhaustive search when I'm doing a meta-analysis. Two, it's really helpful when there's an extremely large literature and I just want to get an initial sense of what some of the more prominent articles are. I can read 2 or 3 articles and get some sense of the terrain and see what articles were cited in those more recent articles, and it gives me some sense of how I want to tackle doing more of a lit review that's more systematic. So if I realize that it's going to be over 500 studies in a certain area and I want to do a systematic lit review, then I may see if I can hone in more narrowly, etc. But if I'm just doing kind of writing the introduction for an article, then this ends up being real helpful because I can quickly see some of the articles that I may want to look at. If I'm sending an article to, say, Journal of Counseling and Values, I can put that into the search, that particular journal, and I can make sure I cite some of the articles that have come from them that have been well cited in that area. So it gives me just kind of a quick way of getting a sense for what's out there. So yeah, hope that's helpful.